And hello everyone, here we are for, I'm gonna call it the first, even if I recorded the normally fourth video before this, on Mage Noir. I don't know how should I call the game, I think I should just say it in French, Mage Noir, name of the game. So this is a strategic card game that requires you to think a lot about the game plan that you want to play before the game starts. The game itself doesn't have a lot of interaction, you just have basically 4 different ways to play, 4 different ways to kill your opponent, and play around your conditions. Do not play around preventing them to do anything. So it's kind of the opposite of the kind of decks that I like to play. Usually I'm more of a control player about preventing the other to do what it wants. But this game is different here, it really caught out my attention. I've heard about it and I've given it a try, and I've been actually really positively surprised. But for now, let's teach you guys how to play the game. So, first of all, I'm gonna turn off my heater because it's kind of hot. It's not good for me. I'm gonna leave you here. Just a second. So first of all, casting spells. First lesson of all. This is a tutorial, this is gonna teach you how to play the game. Spells is everything that you go from your hand to play. And you have different ways of playing it, but the game is gonna teach you this. And I'm here. I apologize for this. So, welcome to Mage Noir Infinite, the tutorial. You are a mage, as is your opponent. Who you'll need to defeat with your spells. I swear I can read. So, the concept about this game is that you have mana to play your cards, you have a deck of yourself, and that you're gonna use your cards to kill him, to reduce this HP to 0. You start the game with 20, but this is the tutorial. Here are your health points. Keep them above 0 to stay alive, obviously. So if it reaches 0 or less, you lose. So the objective is, obviously, as the game is saying, here are your opponent health points, reduce them to 0 to win. So the first one to reach 0 loses. As simple as that. To this, you'll need to use your spells. Those cards. This is your hand. Play a flame by dropping it on the board. By the way, the name of the card is above. This, flame, see? Really keep in mind the name of every card. Not that you have to remember, but that you need to pay attention to look at it. So the card does, inflicts 1 damage to any target. After the spell is used as a component, discard it. What is a component? You're gonna see after. So to play a card, you just drag it on the board. Now you only have 1 option, but you'll have 3 with most of the cards. Sorry. Prepare is when if you need to pay or require some conditions to play the card, it's gonna stay here. But it is not played. You just pay for it. And it is there. You can play it whenever you want after. Activate it to apply its effect. So now that this is on board, that this is preparing on this area here, you can just grab the card and activate it, if the game wants to. Thank you. Target your opponent's HP your opponent's HP directly with your flames. So I can talk. So you just need to drag it here, because that's what the card does. It deals 1 damage. You may play as many spells as you want during your turn. The limit is the mana. Reduce your opponent's HP to 0 to win. So you can just prepare it, or you can activate it immediately, but now the game doesn't really let you, because it's dark. I'm gonna activate it, please, thank you. 1 damage and 1 more damage, yay. We're the MVP out of this match, for sure. Okay. Well done. Use your spells to triumph over your opponents. The tutorial gives you a lot of rewards, so I recommend you to try it, even if you saw this video already. I've claimed them all obviously, but anyway. components and craft. What does it mean? The game is gonna tell you, do not worry. Learn to channel end user components. So we got cards. In Mage Noir, some of your spells need components to be prepared. What is a component? It's a requirement for a card to be played, besides the normal mana paying of it. So this one, for example, requires a card that is named Breathe. As you can see, it requires Zephyr, name of this card, needs a Breathe component. Spell can count as components for each words in its name. As you can see, this card is just Breathe. This card is Healer's Breathe. Does it count as a Breathe? Yes, because there is Breathe in the name. Each of those two spells can therefore serve as Breathe component for Zephyr. So, you can see, I cannot play the card. You have no Breathe component. So let's just pair. You prepare a spell with Breathe in his name. Channel it, so it can count as a component for Zephyr. So now, from here, after the card is prepared, you can activate it, you can just basically play the card, or channel it. You can also drag it on this area. Now that you have a Breathe component, you can prepare and activate Zephyr. And what is Zephyr? Deals 2 damage to any target and you draw a card. Why can I play it? Because I require... I don't know how to say it, sorry. The requirement of the card is to have a Breathe, which I do, so I can play the card freely. Now you don't have mana, but we'll go to that later. Activate, deal 2 damage to him, and I'll draw a card that is a Zephyr, again. Note that components stay in play, even when you prepare or activate spells that use them. Yes. So, you have basically 2 ways of paying for cards. Most of the cards require both. Now it's up to you to reduce your opponent's HP to 0, whatever. So as you could see, I just required a card, play a card that has a requirement with Breathe. But I can play this again. Why? Because this stays. This does not run out unless it says so. Since it doesn't, you can just play the card. Well done. Making good use of your components is the key to win in Mage Noir. Let's go to the next one. Game turn and mana. Next tutorial. Learn how to turn of a Mage Noir unfold and discover the share of mana system. Shared mana system. I'm tired, you know, I've started working last week, so I'm still really tired. Don't blame me for not being able to read much. In Mage Noir, each player takes turns, yes, so it's a turn-based game. You probably knew about it. This time, your opponent starts. Those are 2 mana pools, and this is him choosing what does he want to do. As you can see here, it's like you have 2 mana pools and you put a mana that you want in one, then another, and then back to the first one. A turn starts by drawing a card from your deck, that is here, but you have also the numbers here that are just a little better to understand. Turn starts, you draw a card, and now you choose the mana. You have 3 mana available on Ether. This is Ether. Magical energy used to cast spells is called mana. What you see is the available Ether. This is the source from which you'll draw your mana. So now, we can choose what we want. You can choose wind, fire, water, vegetables, minerals, or I don't remember the specific name of this one. There are 6 different elements, starting by adding 3 mana of the water element to the available Ether. This pool is shared, so as you could see, my opponent put 2 in this one, 1 in this one. So you see, pick this one, so it is empty. but the other 2 mana that he put are there because you choose only from one pool. On the tutorial, you're gonna choose 3 water, and now you can choose between this one or this one. As you've seen, when mana is added to the available ladder, it alternates between the 2 piles, starting with the smaller. Always starting with the smaller. Now, choose a pool to take its mana. You can choose this one and get 2 water, you can choose this one to get 3 water, which is added to your own mana. It is now your main phase, basically the phase where you're gonna do something. You can play water drop to channel it as a component. So this component needs 1 mana to be played, so you're gonna spend 1 mana of yours. There you go. To be prepared, spells require to pay mana. Sorry. Water drop costs 1 mana to be prepared. So I have 3 at the moment. I'm gonna use 1, I'll have 2, and be able to play this card. Really simple to understand. Thus, you need to have at least 1 water mana in your reserve to be able to prepare water drop. Prepare a card is put it on this area that you can see highlighted in blue. So from here on, you can just leave it there for how many turns you want it. You can channel it after, you can play it after, you can do whatever you want. But for the card to leave your hand like this, you need to pay the mana. You won't pay the mana when you're gonna channel it, you won't pay the mana when you're gonna activate it. You're only paying for the card once, obviously. So, prepare. It is here. Your mana was used to prepare the spell. This mana is now called is locked underneath water drop. I swear again. This mana is now locked underneath the water drop. So the mana that you use is not lost, it doesn't come back to the 2 mana pools. It is retained by the card. It stays under this one. Once you finish your turn, click the end button that is here. It will then be your opponent's turn. Before this, I'm just want to show you this. Look under the card, this half circle here. You can see there is a 1 water. That is the mana that you paid for the card. Okay? So this is under the card. This is basically attached to the card. The game just allows you to channel the card, but you can also activate it if the card does something. But we're just gonna end. You also have here the phases. The beginning of the turn, when some effects start, you have the mana selection with the 2 mana pools. You have the main phase, where you're gonna do whatever you want. And the end phase, when you're gonna end the turn. And it even specifies here, if you have more than 7 cards, that is the base, just like a maximum amount of cards that you can hold, you're gonna have to discard if you have more than that. So if I have 8 cards in hand and I pass, I need to discard 1. But anyway, passing the turn is just telling your opponent, go on. And it goes up again. So, start of turn effects, draw, mana, now you play. So he did play 2 cards. As you could see, your opponent activated spells to deal damage to you and heal themselves. When a spell is activated, its locked mana goes back to the available adder. So when you activate a card, it goes back to the 2 pools. I would like to show you this, but I'll show you after. As you can see, he used 3 blue from this one and 1 blue, 1 green from the healing one that are split in there. Okay? So again, the mana that you're gonna start putting is always gonna start by the smaller one. This one is only 2, this one has 4 plus 1, that is 5. So the mana used by your opponent went back into the available adder. You might now take it, so be careful with what you do. Starting with the smaller one, so everything in my hand is blue, so just blue, 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 whatever. And I'm gonna choose this one because it has more. Simplest. Bring this confrontation to an end before your opponent deal the finishing blow. I am at 1 HP, he's probably gonna draw something that deals damage, so I need to kill him. I can use my cards. But before that, just he could play those cards because he had both mana to play it and the requirement. It is a drop. As you can see, water drop. Look at the name. Water drop. That's the important part. If you channel this card, if you put this card on this zone right here, you're gonna have a wave component. For now, let's just channel the drop. Now I can play those because this requires a drop to be played. So prepare. I'm gonna pay 3 mana. Look here. Yes, you can also choose the components that you're gonna use because some of the components have different effects that sometimes you don't want to trigger. Prepare this one again. I only have 1 mana, one water mana. Really simple, I'm not gonna bother you anymore with this. Activate, deal 3 damage to him. Activate, and discard by the way if you're a Mage Noir. It deals 4 damage instead of 3. But since we aren't, we deal 3 damage. For now the game might seem kinda boring, but the more you play, the more you get used to it, the better it's gonna be. Hold on, use your mana wisely to make sure you come out on top. I'm also talking slowly because I just think that you are learning the game, discovering it, or not familiar with mechanics overall. So I think this way of explaining it, it's really good for beginners. So now, a really nice effect from this game itself, Mage Noir, that is basically a condition. Learn to become a Mage Noir. You can become a Black Mage whenever you want, as long as you play a card that says so. There you go, this one. So, add 3 mana to the available area. For this, to see what we need to look at our mana, we have 3 of each, and the requirements and all. Okay, so 3 blacks and 3 reds, so it's fine, we can choose whatever. During the game, you can become a powerful Black Mage, Mage Noir. To achieve this, you'll need to perform a ritual or rite, using this card. Some spells become more powerful if you're a Mage Noir. As you can see, instead of 3 damage, it's gonna deal 4. Some spells are even only playable if you're a Mage Noir. As you can see here, can only be prepared by a Mage Noir. If you're not, this card does nothing. Even if you can play it, pay for it, it will do nothing at all. So, first of all, we need to see how can we kill our opponent. This deals 4 damage, he is at 4, so we need to play this card. For this we need 1 thing. 2, let's say. The mana, which we have, and the flame, which we don't have. For this, we have to play this card. That is a flame, Sulfur Flame. But we cannot play it, unless we are a Black Mage. So, when you're a Black Mage, you're gonna use this little spot here. Now that I am a Black Mage, I can play this card. And now you have the choice. You can prepare it to leave it here, for later maybe. You can channel it, or you can activate it. We don't want to do this, so channel. And now we can play this card for 4 damage, because we have a flame in our component. So, the channel part. Activate. 4 damage. And the 2 mana that I spent is gonna go back into the mana. Well done. Becoming Mage Noir greatly enhances your magical power. Use the strength to vanquish your opponents. And that's it for this tutorial for now. I'm gonna do 3 videos on it, so the other 2 will be on the channel on the same playlist. So this one is on the other 2. I'm gonna do it on another video. But for now, I hope you liked this game. If you did, if you discovered it with me, let me know in the comments. It would be nice. I'm gonna make some videos on this game and keeping on with updates. I think I'd like to really invest my time on this game. It can really be fun for a long period of time. I think they even are planning on adding another expansion, so more cards, maybe more mechanics. So really stay tuned. I'm gonna stay on this. I'm gonna really try to do my best. Anyway, guys, consider subscribing, leave a comment if you liked the video, give a like, or if you Jesus, I'm tired. Okay, I'm gonna redo this if you don't mind. Leave a like on the video if you like it, or a dislike if you didn't. And I'm gonna say, see you for the next video, and stay the way you are. You're amazing. See you guys.